The joy of learning biology. Explore the wonder with BioClass. As you can see here, when the body temperature increases, we activate the cooling mechanisms to restore balance.
Homeostasis. These are mechanisms which maintain a constant internal environment. The internal environment is the immediate surroundings of the cells. In mammalian tissues, the cells are generally surrounded by tiny channels and spaces filled with fluids. This fluid is called intercellular, interstitial, or tissue fluid. It provides the cells with the medium in which they must live and represents the organism's internal environment. Factors which are maintained constant. Chemical composition, for example, glucose, ions. Osmotic pressure, determined by the relative amounts of water and solutes. The level of carbon dioxide. Temperature, importance of homeostasis. Enzyme activity. Enzymes and proteins are sensitive to changes in pH and temperature. If these factors fluctuate, enzyme activity can be disrupted, affecting biochemical reactions. Water balance. Changes in water potential can cause cells to shrink or swell due to osmosis, damaging cells. Dynamic equilibrium. Biochemical reactions in cells are in a state of dynamic equilibrium. Changes in the internal environment can disrupt this balance, harming the organism. Independence from external environment. Organisms that maintain a stable internal environment can survive in a wider range of habitats, from deserts to polar regions. Control mechanisms and feedback. Cybernetics is the science of control systems, i.e., self-regulating systems, which operate using feedback mechanisms. The essential components of a control system are stimulus, a change in the internal or external environment that triggers a response. Receptor, specialized sensory cells that detect changes and relay information to the control center. Control center, typically the brain or endocrine system, which processes incoming data and determines the appropriate response. Effector, organs or tissues that carry out corrective actions to restore balance. Response, change on the parameters of the organisms. Feedback mechanism, a system that monitors and regulates responses using either negative or positive feedback. Feedback mechanisms. These are homeostatic mechanisms which set up a sequence of events to correct deviations of any homeostatic parameter from the norm or set point. There are mainly two feedback mechanisms, positive and negative feedback. Negative feedback. This is a homeostatic control mechanism where a deviation in the parameter of the tissue fluid or blood sets up a series of events which correct and bring back the deviation to the norm or set point. The deviation from the norm sets up the homeostatic mechanism into play. Any change in the level of an internal factor causes effectors to restore the internal environment to its original level. For example, the norm or set point is the normal condition of such a parameter in the body. When it changes, a deviation is either an increase or a decrease. The deviation is detected by the receptors to set up a sequence of events, the return, the deviation to the set point. Temperature of the body is always constant at 37 degrees Celsius. A decrease in the body temperature, caused by external cold conditions, sets up a sequence of events that generate heat in the body, like shivering, increased body metabolism and vasoconstriction, that generate heat increase the body temperature, returning it to the normal 37 degrees Celsius. An increase in the body temperature caused by either heat generation in the body or external hot conditions sets a sequence of events to cool the body. They may include sweating and vasodilation. These increase heat losses and reduce heat generation to return the body temperature back to the normal properties of an efficient homeostatic control system. Sensitivity. The system must detect even subtle changes in environmental conditions. Precision. Adjustments should be accurate enough to maintain optimal conditions without overshooting. Adaptability. The system must respond dynamically to different types and intensities of disturbances. Self-regulation. Responses should be automatic and not require conscious control in most cases. Efficiency. The system should use minimal resources while maintaining balance. Redundancy. Multiple pathways may ensure stability, preventing failure if one system is compromised. Feedback mechanisms. Negative feedback prevents excessive corrections, while positive feedback amplifies necessary responses. Thank you for watching. Subscribe, like, and share for more. Next lesson is Temperature Regulation in Endotherms and Water Regulation in Mammals by the ADH.